Hello, Wankers.
What's up, Wankers? What's going on, Vankahs? This is Vankah Hours with the one and only Guenther Steiner. We are here to chat all things Chinese GP. What the hell's going on with Ferrari? What's going to happen with Red Bull? Is Oscar Piastri going to win this championship? There is much to discuss about this chaotic weekend, including Guenther's opinions on all of it. This is Vankah Hours brought to you by BetMGM. Gentlemen, shall we do this thing?
Are you ready?
I'm ready, baby. Cue the music. Let's roll.
No, Fox smash my door. I'm the fucking Steiner and I'm back for more. No, Fox smash my door. I'm the fucking Steiner and it's time for Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby. Vankah Hours, baby.
All right. First topic of discussion. I think, Guenther, we got to start with Ferrari, do we not?
Whatever we need to start with, there is no... It's so up and down for Ferrari this last weekend, not this weekend, last weekend in China, that it was like the perfect Saturday, the almost perfect Saturday, I would say. Or Friday, Saturday, because Friday was the sprint qualifying, then the sprint race for Lewis. I mean, a dream coming true. And Lewis Hamilton to Ferrari, second race, wins it, pole position, wins it. What more you want? And then Sunday comes.
Yeah. I think they could have wanted to win on Sunday as well, but they didn't. That wasn't in the cards for them.
No, that wasn't in the cards, no.
What do you make of, we'll get to the disqualifications later, but what do you kind of make of Ferrari having all this pace on the Saturday and then Sunday being kind of nowhere?
I think on Saturday, the track was very weird there, the track. It was new asphalt and getting quicker and quicker by the minute, I would say. And in sprint qualifying, they did everything right. They waited at the last minute to go out there. Obviously, low fuel, one lap for the tires, while McLaren was out before. When the track got quicker, their tires were already used. And on their fastest lap, they had also more fuel in it. So I think on Friday, Ferrari did the perfect qualifying, and that ended up in pole position. And when you are in pole positions on Saturday, it's just like Lewis could manage his tires perfectly. He just could do what he wanted to do, and just drove away.
Why? Can you explain why they repave and what that does to all of your simulations that you've had built up for years? Like what resurfacing actually does to a race team?
Why they resurfaced, I don't know. Maybe last year they were not happy anymore. Normally you repave the track if it gets bumpy or something like this. No, otherwise you don't repave it. But they repaved it and it was as smooth as it can get, as a racetrack. But I was told as well that they normally you power wash. After you repave, you power wash the track. So you get rid of the greasy stuff on top. But they didn't power wash, but it wasn't greasy. It was like sticky. The roughness, it was very smooth, everything, but it was sticky. It was almost like glue, It's very, very smooth, the racetrack. So, and the racetrack got quicker, as I said, by the minute, not only by the hour, by the minute more it went on Friday. It got quicker and quicker, and that's for in qualifying. They had such a good qualifying because they went out at the end. Then I think after the sprint race, it ebbed off a little bit. I think the track stayed a lot more stable. It didn't get faster anymore. It always gets faster, but very little, like normal. But on Friday, it was something special. So, and it was just weird. I mean, you could see it then on Sunday with the tire wear. Everybody expected a two-stop. The tires were very good, and people got that one wrong. So this tarmac they put on, and tarmac is always like it's a black art, It's actually black tarmac, that.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and then in Japan for the next race, it's also been repaved as well there, I believe. So that might throw a little bit of spanner into the works with regards to
exactly,
that.
because you never know really what you get when it is repaved, because they just go out there and measure the micro and macro roughness of the track when they get there. But again, in China, it was very smooth, and normally it's not fast when it's smooth, but it had a lot of grip, the tarmac itself, the bitumen, so you never know what you get if you get a new tarmac until you actually drive it, and what it does to the tires.
But it wasn't only a tale of two cars, it was also a tale of two drivers, because on Friday, it's like Lewis hasn't lost a step. Saturday, he's the same old Lewis, and on Sunday, he's waving Charles through like they're on the highway together, and he's being, go by me. Well, how do you explain the difference in driving ability between 2 days?
I don't think it's a driving ability. I think he maybe just wore his tires out more and realized that he needs to let it's better for the team to let Charles through. Because sometimes you just say, I don't have more grip. What can I do? And it could be that the tire, he just maybe was pushing harder in the beginning and then realized that Charles had not pushed the tire so hard and had still a lot of more grip than him.
Guenther, you got to talk me through this. You have a lot of experience with this. As someone who's seen a lot of front wings get knocked off in his day, how do you explain, Kevin Magnussen was an expert in this, how do you explain how a car can be better without an end plate?
I wouldn't say it was better. I think it suffered very little. I mean, he said on the radio or in the press, I don't know when he said he lost about 20 to 30 points of downforce, which is quite a lot, especially in the front, because you introduce a lot of understeer. So, sometimes these things happen and nobody can explain them. Why they happen, why they happen that you're still fast if you lose 20 to 30 points of downforce. And I mean, the engineers, obviously, you measure all that stuff from the load sensor, so you know all this data. So, why would they lie about it? But it's one of these things. You lose them, and he was just having good grip, It's like...
Yeah, but shouldn't the engineers have an explanation for this? I mean, there's got to be a sign. Why not? These are the smartest people in the world. How that now... Bernie Collins is on the television saying that, well, actually the front left is the part that degrades the most, so maybe this actually is helping them. I mean, there's got to be, of all these supposed geniuses who work in this business, someone who can explain what the hell happened.
G-nice, supposed G-nice. But I don't think it will help you losing a front wing end plate. I've never seen that helping, on the tire.
Guenther, you've never seen Kevin Magnussen customize the car a little bit during the race, and it helps. You've never seen that happen.
It never helped. It never helped. So I mean, again, I can be wrong, but I've never seen a car going quicker without a front wing end plate. So, but what I was surprised that it didn't break the wing.
Right?
Did you see how it bent? It's like
that
wow.
one held. That one held,
yeah.
But the V car didn't hold. How do you explain that?
I think there will be a redesign after that one. When he came, you can see it clearly. When he gets in the wake of the other car, the turbulences, it just starts to vibrate and it vibrates itself to shit, So
that's a technical term.
Yeah, that's very technical.
That's the technical term. We talked about the race, Lewis, Charles, Saturday, Sunday, but let's talk about what happened after the race, because that's the real storyline here. That Ferrari has 2 disqualifications for 2 separate reasons. Charles with the weight thing that happened to George in Spa last year, also happened to Pierre Gasly, and Lewis with the plank wear. I mean, who's getting fired at Ferrari this week? Someone's head's got to be on the chopping block. Does it not, Guenther?
We need to ask Fred who he is going to fire, because it's like, the weird thing is it's 2 different things which happened. I mean, the weight with the tires, it's getting, because everybody expected a 2-stop. I mean, everybody. And then the tires just hold together. I mean, the only ones which had a 2-stop strategy was Luis and the Racing Bulls. And you saw how that worked for the Racing Bulls. It didn't,
Right.
So.
But then everyone else does a 1-stop, and no one else has, other than Gasly. Everyone, that was the best strategy for the day. And 2/3 of the grid, if not more,
they pushed it.
Did
they
it?
pushed it. They pushed it to the max.
Yeah.
They pushed just the way to the max, and sometimes it is just too much. And people need to do that, because you know how much weight is important,
Right.
how much it is important. You just do it to the max, and they got it wrong.
So who signs off on that? Like, are you given, as a team principal, are you given a spectrum? Are
No.
you given like, okay, so this is the most aggressive weight we can do, but we're getting into the red here. This is moderate weight we could do. Like, who's signing off on that final
The chief
weight?
race engineer. The chief race engineer normally is responsible for that. The race engineers put their car, they give you the weight, they give you that spectrum, what you call it, that band, how much, an estimation of how much overweight you will be at the end of the race. You can take risk because, you need to have a margin. And the race engineers, they put that one together, what the estimation of their end of race weight is with the ballast they put in the car.
So that margin never even made it to Fred. You're like, he's not signing off.
I
on
would
something
no,
like that.
no.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I would be surprised if he does. But normally you let because otherwise, as a team principal, you do the race engineering as well. I don't think any team principal gets involved in the weight. That's why you've got the chief race engineer there, which in the end signs off whatever happens technically on the car. And if you try to do something which isn't, the chief race engineer asked the team principal, but I do not think that they try to do this. You always try to be on the limit, but every team has got its own limit. How much safety margin you put in the ballast?
Okay, and then the plank wear, which is a ride height thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
so they just, so does that maybe imply that they maybe were at different ride heights because Charles didn't suffer from that, or maybe because of his broken wing? So they were maybe at different ride heights, you think?
I think so, yeah. I think so. Well, normally a different ride height. And what you do with the ride height during free, because there wasn't a lot of free practice with only FP1. Normally during practice you establish how much wear you have got, and then you calculate it and you make sure that you stay within. And having only one free practice, maybe they didn't do enough running to get to a proper estimation and, got it wrong.
You're Fred Vasseur right now.
Yeah,
what are you saying to the team? Let's put you in that position. Like,
you're team principal of Ferrari.
Who are you? I mean, I know that you famously didn't like to fire people. You were you famously were loyal to your employees, but like, what are you doing this week? Because this is a huge, embarrassing screw up.
First of all, you try to find out why it happened, what happened. There must be a reason. Like, we are speculating here.
Right.
They know because they've got the data, they've got the cars. They can go and look at it. You see why it happened, what happened. Because, is there something broke? I mean, like the wear. Was there something broken? I'm not saying there was. I'm just, you need to find out what went wrong that we ended up to be disqualified with 2 cars. And then depending on that, it's like, guys, did we agree at some stage that we take big risk and it backfired? Or was it just a mistake of someone?
Is it always that easy? Because I've read books about Ferrari, and it's it's always these stories of the engine guys point to the chassis guys, and the chassis guys point to the engine guys, and
no, this is chassis. I mean, this is set. Yeah, this is set up. This is set up work, and just to find out, where did it go wrong?
Right.
But do you ever find yourself as a team principal, like, there's something goes wrong and it's a kind of a mystery because nobody wants to take accountability, and you're like, how did this go wrong? And you kind of have to be a detective.
You have to ask your people. It is very difficult to find out because you say everybody tries to be not the culprit,
Right.
not the person who did something wrong, saying, it was wrong, exactly, and try to share the responsibility because, again, you cannot fire everybody, because then Fred is on his own in Japan, So,
right.
So, it's not as easy as it looks like, and it's such a big organization, It's like, a lot of people knew about it, but again, now you will find a lot of people say, "Oh, I knew this was coming," but you need to say it before, not afterwards, because afterwards, I know, we 3 know, we can be hindsight engineers, huh?
What's the most common excuse? What's the dog ate my homework of Formula One?
I mean, I wouldn't say the excuse. The biggest finger to point at is at the tire wear here, that it was estimated to be, because it's pretty clear. On the plank, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to run it lower to the ground in order to get it's the advantage, right?
Because it was so smooth there. It was so smooth there, so you could run the cars very low. They were
and it
running very low.
wasn't sparking like crazy. I mean, sometimes you can see it visually. You're like, oh, that plank
bumps,
is destroyed, but you couldn't really tell there in Japan. I mean, in China. It does seem like Ferrari is taking risks, though. These first 2 races, it feels like they've had a risk appetite. I mean, they stayed out on the slicks in Australia, and now they've done these 2 kind of risky moves with the fuel and the running the car low. Do you think that there's maybe like, you got Lewis now, there's this pressure on the Ferrari, like we're not going to win the championship, so let's try to have flashy big races? Do you think that's at all factoring into the decision making?
I don't think there's desperation set in. I think they just want to do a job and got a few things. I mean, how it went. Obviously, what you said with Lewis there, the pressure is high. You see, as soon as he does something, how he catches the attention of everyone.
Right.
It's something brutal. It's Lewis Hamilton, but. I would think Ferrari know when they took him that what will happen. You attract attention. I mean, look at, for example, now Mercedes. I think Mercedes is doing a good job this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're not beating McLaren, but nobody knows about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very unseen, You see more from Ferrari with Lewis' performance at Ferrari than the better performance of Mercedes. Because, it's not Lewis Hamilton. Lewis attracts, he's a star, He's so, people are attracted to him.
Okay, last thing on Ferrari, and then we're going to move on. Have you been impressed with Lewis's performance? Because coming into this team, new engine, there was all this kind of talk about how he's maybe going to be a couple steps behind Charles. And especially in qualifying, he has held his own and been better than Charles, and winning the sprint race. It seems like he has outperformed my expectations. Has Lewis outperformed your expectations of him so far this year with Ferrari?
I wouldn't say outperformed. He performed well. I mean, but there were also points, points or situations where I think we were not this impressed. I mean, to win the sprint race was cool. I mean, coming to Ferrari and to win the second race, I know it was a sprint race, but to win it is pretty cool, Putting a pole in, it was pretty cool. But on Sunday, it was, I mean, he was good, but was it impressive? I don't think so, because Charles was in front of him with a broken wing.
Sure. Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by BetMGM. The season is about to start, and there are a bunch of picks that you can make. Make your 2025 season predictions. Put some money on it with BetMGM, and come see what's new at BetMGM. You can score bigger when you win with boost tokens, odd boost tokens, and more. Even if your bet doesn't hit, we've got you covered with no sweat tokens. Sign up with BetMGM today, and you'll have access to countless betting options, including new look same-game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Take advantage of these offerings and be sure to use the bonus code DADDY when signing up to receive up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. Baby, I'm putting my money on Lando Norris to win this championship, baby. And if you got Lewis Hamilton, whoever you think is going to win the championship, you can make that bet right now on BetMGM. Go over there and use the bonus code DADDY when signing up, because they'll know that we sent you, and you can receive, again, up to $1,500 in bonus bets if your first bet loses. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and over. U.S. promotional offers not available in New York, Nevada, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY for New York. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP for Arizona. 1-800-327-5050 for Massachusetts. 1-800-BETS-OFF for Indiana. 1-800-981-0023 for Puerto Rico. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Don't forget, if you haven't signed up for BetMGM yet, use bonus code DADDY and get your $1,500 first bet offer today. Let's move on to the other team that is doing very well. We just went from a team that wasn't doing very well. Let's talk about McLaren. Let's talk about this Oscar Piastri weekend after his disappointing result in Australia to come back, get second in the sprint, get first in the actual race with a 1-2 for McLaren. Guenther, you called that it was going to be a 1-2 for Oscar Piastri and Lando in second. The internet is calling you a genius, Guenther. What is this?
I call myself lucky, but what I want to tell you two guys, when you said you need to take a pick between Oscar and Lando, I said I cannot, because they are equal. But what they are equul, in my opinion.
Why we're trying to give you credit for something, and now you're trying to run away from the credit? I don't understand you.
I will get credit again, so don't worry. So don't worry. Don't
He's got
worry.
plenty of credit. His credit score is high, okay?
Credit
He's
coming, Yeah.
His credit score is
coming.
very, very high. But what do you make of this weekend? The fact that they were able to get that 1-2. I mean, is it just confirming what you already believed, that this is McLaren's championship and no one else can really compete in a serious way?
I wouldn't say nobody can compete. It is not as easy as it looks like, because you saw on the sprint, if they're not doing a perfect job, they still lose. They cannot make mistakes because there's always somebody waiting there to take it away from them. But
sure,
if they do a perfect job, I think they're the team to beat. But as well, the other cars, they had a good distance to them, but they didn't lap them or anything, I mean, it's just like some of them, the Mercedes sometimes shows very good speed, very good speed. And they just need a little bit more, and they can get there, in my opinion.
But don't you think that in that qualifying session, for the sprint qualifying, that they came out, because they were the only team, or one of the only teams that did the 2 runs. Everyone else saved their tires for the final run, let the track ramp up. And McLaren, do you think there was a little bit of hubris there? There's a little bit of cockiness that, like, oh, we can do 2 because we're just that good, that we can go out and do 1 and be faster than the rest of you bums.
I think they genuinely thought that is the better strategy, that the second lap will be faster. They do 1 lap, put something in, and then do a second one. And they must have had some data from the runnings before, because otherwise, I don't think they are cocky, I don't think they're cocky. They really thought that is the best way to do it. But obviously, as I said, a small mistake, or just not getting it perfect right, and it happens to them, and then they lose a race.
So what are you making of this? How does this augur for the championship? Do you think it's going to be? Do you think Oscar Piastri has the edge? I know you keep saying they're equal. But are we looking at a Hamilton Rosberg sort of fight?
I think Oscar in the moment has got the edge. In China, in my opinion, he showed that he's got the edge. I think all the time he was better. I would say, he was better. So I don't know. Maybe Lando didn't like China, a little bit like me, but. We come to that one after, we come to that one after,
Well, speak more on that. I mean, I think last year, last week it was changing conditions. There was the wet, but this is the first week that we've seen them in
clean,
on a dry run. Do you think that Oscar performing as well as he did in the more normal conditions actually speaks more to what can happen in this season going forward?
Yes.
Okay.
If I would have to put money now on the world champion, I would put it on Oscar Piastri.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And when you saw him speaking after the pole position qualifying, in the interview, he seemed to be pretty upbeat, because normally he doesn't speak a lot. You could really see he's enjoying it. And I think he wants more of it, because he enjoyed that quite a bit, so I think he's in a good position now.
So how standard is the Chinese track? Because a lot of people are saying, well, it's counterclockwise. It doesn't go the same way as the other tracks. It's
counterclockwise. I don't think that makes a difference. Not that I know that doesn't make a difference. But I think there is no real any fast corner in it. It was very smooth. The cars, you can make the car to find a good setup. I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's easier with this ground effect cars, because the biggest thing for the ground effect cars is the bumps, to have a stable level of downforce. And if it is smooth, you can run them a lot better closer to the ground. So I think, and there was no fast, medium speed there was some, but no really fast speed. We get them not this weekend, the next weekend in Japan. You will see what the car is. It's a standard track, but nothing special. But does it really show where the cars are? Maybe not, but as I always say, a good car is quick everywhere.
Right.
Love it. All right, I think maybe we should go into our new favorite segment, gas or brake, because we got some more stuff to cover, but we want to ask your opinions on what's going on here. So we're going to do our favorite segment, gas or brake. Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by Skims. underwear are so important to how you feel during the day. I know that when I'm not wearing my best underwear, I feel like I'm just half a step behind. And in the Formula One world, you don't want to be half a step behind. Half a second is a lifetime in this world. And that's why I love my Skims underwear. I have my Skims underwear that I wear for my special occasions. We all have that pair of underwear that we always grab if you're going to a big event, job interview, a wedding. I just went to a wedding and I saved my Skims underwear for the wedding because I wanted to be looking and more importantly, feeling my best. They hug you. They're comfortable. They've got everything you want. I didn't know that Skims made stuff for guys. They do, and I wear them when I want to be feeling my best, and I can't wait to order more. I've got the 5-inch cotton boxer brief and the stretch brief. They're both amazing. The stretch I wear if I'm going to be a little bit more active, maybe on a dance floor. The cotton if I just want to be lounging around my house. Both are amazing pairs of underwear. They're my current favorite pairs in my wardrobe. And if you want to get your own Skims underwear and be feeling and looking your best, you can go to Shop Skims Men's at skims.com and Skims stores. Let them know that we sent you. After you place your order, select podcast in the survey and select our show, Vankah Hours, in the drop-down menu that follows. Skims is also the official underwear partner of the NBA, WNBA, and USA Basketball, and more importantly than all those, Vankah Hours with Guenther Steiner. So why don't you go get your Skims underwear right now?
Yuki Tsunoda will replace Liam Lawson for the next race in Japan.
Break.
Okay. You don't think that's happening, Guenther? Why?
I think they give Liam the chance in Japan because he knows Suzuka because he raced in Super Formula there. So I think it is to see if he cannot do it there. I think you got a good reason to replace him. But you need to give him that chance. He had only 2 races. Give him another chance on a racetrack. The other 2 racetracks were new to him. This one not. He knows it very well. Let's see what he can do there. If he cannot do it there, you can say, go in the Racing Bull and get Yuki in the Red Bull.
What would you need to see from him in Japan to have you keep him on? Like, what does doing well mean? Because he's had, is it getting out of Q1 or is it
getting into Q3 and getting points?
Okay.
I'm going full gas. It's Yuki's home race. It's his time. He's been waiting in the wings, and it's time to unleash the beast. It's time to give the people what they want. It's time to let him go. Let him show what he can do. It's been long enough. I think it was too early to put Liam in. I think he's still young. He needs to develop more. I think it was the same thing we saw with Albon and Gasly. They weren't ready. Now they've gone to other teams. They've matured. The Yuki's had enough time to mature, and I think it is now time. He is ready, willing, and able.
He's ripe now.
Yeah, he's ripe.
Yeah, he's
right.
ripe.
And use him or lose him. I mean, they're getting rid of him anyway. Why not give him a shot?
I am also going full gas on Yuki Tsunoda in Japan. How epic would it be if he got the call and he's in the top 5? I think that he's ready for the moment. He's talking shit in the press, and I like the energy. I think it needs to happen. But I also think that if they fire Liam Lawson and they bring Colapinto into Racing Bulls, I think that would be a bad move. Why would anyone want to drive for the Red Bull organization if this is how they treat your drivers? Put Yuki in the seat and put Liam in the Racing Bulls. Give him more time in F1. If he's ultimately your guy, take a little bit of the pressure off him and let him get some good results in an easier car to drive. Next prompt.
Mercedes is the second best team on the grid.
Full gas. They are. There's no doubt about it in the moment.
Okay.
What they have against them in the moment, they've got one. I mean, they are both good drivers, but one is a rookie. A rookie needs time. Otherwise, I think they would be a lot stronger. But, you cannot choose everything. So I think as a machine, they are the second best one, the most consistent one. between qualifying race. They're doing a good job as a team. They got George Russell there leading the team, and now they're just waiting for Kimi Antonelli to sneak up behind it slowly. And he's getting there.
A very reluctant step on the gas. It kills me to say I'm stepping on the gas ever so gingerly out, but I'm staying within the speed limit. It is only because they have got no competition. It's because Ferrari keeps stepping on their own dicks every single week. The bar is so freaking low.
Whoa!
Red Bull's got a one-car team. They're a disaster. People are fleeing like rats on a sinking ship. Ferrari can't do strategy or set up a car. And McLaren's out in front. So of all those teams, Mercedes is wins by default. They win by default. It's not really. It's an ignominious honor.
Stop your
which
compliments
I'm giving to
today.
them.
Stop your compliments. You're too generous today. Wow. They're second by default because the other ones are stupid, basically.
I am pumping the brakes on this. Pump the brakes. Listen, I think that they have been in the middle and they are the best of the rest, but I think that Ferrari has a higher ceiling, and if they can get some of their shit together, they will prove to be the better. I believe in Fred Vasseur. I shook his hand, and it still hurts to this day. I believe that Ferrari will ultimately, through this season, prove to be the better team. That's what I think. Moving on. Next prompt.
After Haas's double points weekend, Guenther needs to walk back his worst team on the grid take.
Brian wrote that one.
So say again, Brian.
Say it again.
After scoring double points this weekend, Haas is not the worst team on the grid.
Break. It was special circumstances, China. Put the brakes on.
Yes,
Wait for
Guenther.
Japan. Wait for Japan.
I love it. He's doubling down. He's putting double the amount
I'm
of
digging
chips
in
on
there.
his hand.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, Japan. You think they're gonna be nowhere in Japan?
I would think so.
Okay.
I am also slamming on the brakes. I'm also slamming
You're
on the
helping
brakes.
me out.
Yes.
Wow.
He's giving you a toe, Guenther. He's giving you a toe.
I'm slamming on the brakes. I didn't like what I saw in the first race. Io Komatsu went out and said that they still suck. That they have that. I mean, Guenther, you know about this better than I do, but they tend to have problems in those faster corners.
Yeah.
And they were flattered by the not as fast corners in China
And very smooth surface.
and very smooth surface. So Io was sort of lowering expectations, saying that they're probably going to suffer in Japan, and that they were flattered by China. So I think that this was a flash in the pan, and that they're going to be plummeting like stones, dropping like stones in Japan.
I'm going gas, baby. Full gas. Guenther needs to walk it back because, listen, not
You're
every...
sucked. You're sucked.
I'm fired.
You're
You never
sucked from the
fire anybody,
podcast.
Guenther. You never fired anybody.
Hill, you're the
I-
first. You're the first.
Yeah.
I'm the first. That's how bad of an employee I am. No, I agree. I think on fast tracks in the Saudi Arabias of the world and in the Japans of the world, they're going to be trash. But if they can have decent enough showings on the slow speed corner tracks, then they might be able to get enough points on those weekends with Esteban Ocon that they might be able to nab that precious, beautiful, illustrious 9th place, second to worst team on the grid. I'm giving them a lot of grace in that take. Okay, is there any? And okay, last prompt.
Max Verstappen will leave Red Bull at the end of 2025.
Break. Break. I think he wants to see in 26, because if he takes a decision 25, nobody knows what's coming 26, who is good, who is not good. So he could get it completely wrong. So I think he waits for 26 to see who is who and tries to get, if the Red Bull Ford isn't good, tries to get something for 27. I don't know if that is possible with all the contracts and what the deals are which are going on. But I think that's what he's working at. If he achieves it or not, I don't know. But his team they are good negotiators. They know how to make a deal. The team around him.
Are there just one question? Are there teams that, like, let's say McLaren's the car to beat?
I don't think McLaren is an option for him. I think the options are Mercedes, in my opinion.
Okay.
The option is Mercedes because Ferrari is not an option. So who else should they? Aston could be, but again, if new is coming for 26 car, they could get it right. Honda, I don't know. It's so many. Nobody really knows what it is. But as you say, Aston could be an option. Aston could be an option.
Right.
And Mercedes. I don't think Ferrari or McLaren are options.
I'm going break. He's gonna moving is hard, whether it's between moving or sticking or twisting. It's easier to just stick, all things being equal. And he's probably gonna just get the lay of the land, like Guenther said, and then he'll move. He's gonna wait for the dust to settle, and he's gonna do that from the comfort of Red Bull.
I'm going gas, baby. He's getting the hell out of there. He is not having a good time.
Where is he going?
To Mercedes-Benz. Toto Wolff is finally going to nab his boy, and he's going to get Kimi and Maxi boy. He's going to be like a pig in shit with his two favorite drivers on his team. He's going to offer him a lot of money. And I think that I don't think that Max wants to deal with another year of pain at the Red Bull organization.
You know what? I'm going full gas too, because
yes,
he just need to make your mind up, man. You need to make your mind up. He wants to take
George Russell's job. Fuck George Russell. That's what he's thinking. He talked all that shit about me. I'm going to take George Russell's job, and I want to see George Russell cry.
All right, that does it for gas or break. But okay, let's chat more about this Yuki Tsunoda situation, because there's a lot of places reporting, nowhere super official yet, but Eric van Haren from the Dutch journalist has reported that Yuki is going to be taking Liam's spot in Japan. If this is true,
are Dutch journalists not considered official journalists? Are they not considered real? Are they imaginary?
Do they exist? I don't know. If Van der, what was he called?
Eric van Haren, H-A-R-E-N.
I thought Van Halen, so. Yeah.
Do you know him? Is he legit?
No. I think he's legit,
Okay.
But I don't think he's got a vote in the decision.
Right. Yes, of course. Well, but what do you? Let's chat a little bit more about the situation over there, because there's a lot of discourse about what's going on at Red Bull. Even Max has said that Liam would be doing better if he was in an RB because of just how difficult this Red Bull is to drive. We've had enough guys go into that chopping block, get their heads cut off. Checo felt like he was he was the most experienced guy. At least this was a guy who had been a vet and not someone coming in so green. And we saw that how much Checo struggled with the car. Then you get a guy who's green, who they believe in, who they paid Checo money to get him out of that contract. It wasn't cheap to get Checo out of there, and he's had this performance. What does this say about the Red Bull organization?
I mean, it says how good Max is. That's what it says, how good the guy is. And at some stage, as you say, Checo is a good driver, but he couldn't do it. In the beginning, he was okay, and then he just lost his mojo beside Max, because Max is so good, and I think everybody crumbles comparing himself with Max. But I'm a little bit, if Liam Lawson would be going consistent into Q2, sometimes into maybe at only 2 races or 3 qualifyings, but he never made it out of Q1. I mean, that is quite, and the other guy is in the top, always top 4. Right. It's weird, So the big difference, that's what would worry me, that he cannot beat him. It's fully understandable, but it's the distance. He's a second slower, right.
Or more. Sometimes it's a second and sometimes it's a second and a half.
But you think it's a Liam Lawson problem or a Red Bull problem that they can only
One thing I'm sure, it's not my problem. So anyway, I think it's a Liam Lawson problem. I mean, you know, if you're half a second slower than your teammate, you're already a lot slower. But being over a second, it's a difference. And I don't know what it is, because Liam Lawson in the Racing Bull, when they put him in there, did a good job, did a respectable job there, you know. So no issue there. But going in there, he just cannot do it. Maybe puts too much pressure onto himself. Maybe that's what it is. It's just too much pressure. And at some stage, I would say Liam Lawson, Japan, because now it's like, oh, he never raced in Australia. He never raced in China. Good for him. But now let him go to Japan. He knows the racetrack. At least you know how good he is. There is not that excuse anymore or that unknown. He knows Suzuka. He drove in a Super Formula, which are very fast cars, you know. So if he can do it there, at least he got the hope. If he doesn't get it done in Japan, it's time to change. That would be my opinion. And they've got a solution. The solution is simple. Swap the seats.
How do you think Yuki will do in that car if it's so difficult to drive?
I think he will take it into Q3. I think Yuki in the moment is doing good. He's doing good in my opinion. He's doing very good. You know, Yuki was in the beginning a little bit of a mess. You know, yeah, to say the least.
Yeah,
to say the least, yeah. But now I think he got his act together. I mean, he's quick. He's, consistent. Obviously, the last races, there was always an issue. I think in Australia and in China, there was strategy issues. I mean, you know, and in China, the wing broke. What can he do about that one?
He drove too fast.
He got too close to the other
quick.
guy, you know. Yeah, exactly. They didn't, So.
He was too good. But you know, it's interesting. Like, would Liam Lawson be a second slower than Max if they put them both in the Racing Bulls? You know what I mean? Is that the true? Is that the true nature? Is he that much slower than Max Verstappen, or is it really just his car is crazy?
Yeah, but if you're a race car driver, if you've got a car and one guy can be quick, you need to be quick as well. Are you as quick as him? But the teammate being a second off, that is the scary thing. You know, last year when Checo was in there, when he was half a second off, we were all devastated. How can you be half a second off? That hasn't got any better, you know.
Right. But I guess it's two races.
I think you're in love. I think you're in love with Liam Lawson, Matt.
No, I'm sort of like the definition of insanity. It's like, how many times are we going to go through this? You know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. Fool me once, shame on me. Or whatever the fuck it is, right? Fool me twice, shame on you. Or I got it all wrong. But you know what I'm saying.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me three times, shame on me. Fool me 4 times, shame on me. Fool me 5. They've been fooled. How many times do we need to be fooled by Red Bull is the question.
No. The other question is does he need a little more time? Like, you've committed to this guy. You should give him
but
8
Matt,
races.
It's as I said, Japan, give him that one, and otherwise give him time in the Racing Bull. It's a safe, and then at least you find also out how good Yuki Tsunoda is in the Red Bull, because in the moment Yuki Tsunoda is not. It doesn't seem that he is at Red Bull next year. But if he's doing a good job in the Red Bull, maybe he's there. Give him the chance. You have nothing to lose.
Your good friend Ralf Schumacher said that Yuki Tsunoda should not go to the Red Bull seat because it's a career killer. That if Yuki goes there, like right now, he's impressing at this, you know, maybe hopefully best of the rest team. But if he goes to Red Bull and he is having a Liam Lawson type performance, is that actually screwing up his future prospects?
I think if you're a race car driver, you want to know what you can do and what not. Because I would say, I want to prove you wrong, you know?
Yeah.
That would be it's not like take the safe bet and be mediocrity the rest of your life. At some stage, you need to show.
You got to go for it.
You got to go for it. And he has done mediocrity for 4 years, so it's in the 5th year. He wants, and I think he's mentally very strong in the moment. And if he can do it, make it or break it, you know?
Yeah. So Guenther disagrees with Ralf Schumacher. Shocker.
It's not the first time.
All right, let's move on to Storytime, Steiner Storytime. Guenther, you wanted to talk a little bit about your experience at China. What do you got to say about your experience at the Chinese GP?
Yeah, first, I need to go back a little bit with China. I was there the first time. I was thinking the other day, I was there in the 90s. They had all bicycles. Then I went there in the, early to, I think 2004, 2005. I was in Shanghai on the street race with DTM. There were thousands of mopeds, and now it's just cars. Very few bicycles, very few mopeds, What frustrates me is the traffic, how slow everything is. I mean, it took us every day 1.5 hours to get to the track, 1.5 hours to get back to the hotel. It's
So what I'm hearing is, Guenther, is you want them to go back to just all bicycles.
Yeah, and I am the only car, so I can get quick to the racetrack. It's all about me. Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
Love it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your real gripe, is that people that it's too much traffic.
But they all got cars now. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. That's my gripe. Yeah. No. And on the positive side, I mean, I was there last time in 2019 before COVID. I wasn't there last year.
Yeah.
Formula One has changed. I mean, everything was full. The grandstands were full.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people now embrace it. In 19, nobody could care about Formula One.
Right.
And now the paddock, it's the biggest paddock ever. It seems like a landing strip of a big airport,
Yeah.
But now I wouldn't say it's full, but it's very well populated. While before, I mean, if you fell down dead, nobody would notice it because there was nobody coming by,
Right. Were you mobbed there? Because I don't. Do they have? I'm like, is Drive to Survive big in China? Do they have Netflix there?
I don't think they have official Netflix, but they all know it, the people there, because a lot of people knew me, and apparently they called me the English teacher. That's my nickname.
Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting. That's the least, and it's not the first time I hear this. When I was in the UK on the book tour, a Chinese student told us that, and I didn't really believe it, But now, 3 people told me, your nickname in China? I said, no, English teacher.
I love the idea that there's people walking around in China with a Guenther Steiner English accent.
Yeah.
I mean, respectfully, I wouldn't choose you as my English teacher.
I'm disappointed now.
I'm getting fired twice, Guenther. I'm getting fired twice.
Come on, man.
Vankahs, this episode is brought to you by Everyman Jack. Listen, when I go out into these streets of New York City, I want to be feeling and smelling my best. All of a sudden, people will sometimes, rarely, recognize me. And the last thing that I want is they say, look, I met the guy from the Red Flags, and guess what? He smells like crap. But with Everyman Jack, I don't have to worry about that. Everyman Jack is the clean men's care brand made specifically for guys. And I listen when I say clean, because Everyman Jack has naturally derived ingredients. So many of these things out there, you don't know. You read it, you go, what the hell is even that? Like the meme. But with Everyman Jack, it's all naturally derived ingredients, from body wash to deodorant, hair to beard care. They've got everything you need to look, smell, and feel great without breaking the bank. This stuff is affordable. And here's why they stand out. Every product is made naturally derived ingredients. So I said earlier, no harsh chemicals. You're not putting any junk on your body. Most guys don't realize what's in their body wash or deodorant. Everyman Jack makes it easy to clean up your routine. Also, it smells great. The scents are designed for guys. Think manly and outdoorsy, sandalwood, cedar, coconut, vanilla. My personal fave, because I like a little bit of sweetness on my smell. And even new ones like mountain air, so that I can pretend to be outdoorsy even though I live in New York City and actually have never seen a tree. The best part, it's affordable, so you don't need to drop $15 on a body wash. You can get everything for under $10 with Everyman Jack. This is the first men's personal care brand you don't have to compromise on price, scent, or quality. Give Everyman Jack a shot today and head to Walmart, Target, or Amazon to pick up your next body wash and stick of deodorant. Try Everyman Jack today at www.everymanjack.com.
So can you explain to me why the grass looks like so shit on television? Did you notice the grass? It's like
Matt was really bothered by how brown the grass was at the Chinese track.
I didn't notice that.
I'm more of an aesthete than you.
Yeah, that's all about aesthetics. So it makes sense that wouldn't.
Next time I go, I check it out myself. And
all right,
you should have texted me. I could have given you feedback. Go and check the grass out.
Okay.
All right, let's go on to Rockstar and Vankah for China. Guenther, who is your rock star for the Chinese GP?
Oscar Piastri.
Not Kimi Antonelli?
No. Oscar
We won
Piastri.
Driver of the Day,
Not-
Guenther.
Not out.
Yeah,
not Ollie
wait,
Behrman.
how that happened, nobody knows. But anyway,
I think people
but-
wanted to give him it was like a makeup because he didn't win it in Australia, and he had that kind of great comeback race in the rain in Australia.
No,
So
but I mean, he did a great race, but
no, he shouldn't have won it in for China.
No.
That was crazy.
No. Yeah, that was
but-
crazy. Yeah,
All right, Oscar Piastri, rock star. Who is your wanker for China?
I think Ferrari could be a candidate, but they won the sprint race. So you cannot. It's like you cannot call somebody a wanker if he wins a race. That's not easy to do. So who? But you think about Sauber because they are still in China.
What?
What do you mean they're still in China?
Finishing the race, they were so slow.
Yes.
Nailed it.
Yes,
Nailed
Guenther.
it. Nailed it. Yes.
Crushed
Great
it.
time.
All right, yeah, Sauber wankers. Yeah, they're apparently, legend has it, Nico Hulkenberg is still attempting to complete that race.
The laps, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
So, I just have one more thing to add. This has nothing to do with. This just has to do with a bit of wanking. But when do we start to worry about Carlos Sainz? When does Alex Albon become a superstar? When do we start to worry?
Very, very under Carlos Sainz, very under the radar in the moment. You're absolutely right. Nobody speaks about it. It's like let's talk about it. A little bit like Mercedes finishing on the podium and nobody talks about it.
Right.
It's one of these things. One in a positive, and because in my opinion, Carlos in the moment is underperforming, and I don't know why. It's like it's very weird in qualifying because he's a good race car driver. But it's not. The first two races were not, but it's very under the radar. Nobody actually mentioned it. You're right.
Everyone's talking about he's the free agent signing of the year, and now he's getting out qualified by Alex Albon, who was supposed to be the second guy on that team, and nobody's talking except you.
Where are you putting that? Because I think it's interesting. There was all this talk about Lewis, not adjusting to the team. That Lewis has been a Mercedes driver his entire career. What's Lewis gonna do with the Ferrari engine? How is he going to handle it? Whereas Carlos Sainz, coming in Red Bull driver, then Renault driver, then McLaren driver, then Ferrari driver, back to
winning
Mercedes
races.
engine.
Yeah.
He's driven under tons of different engines, had to adjust plenty of times. You would think that his adjustment period to going to a new team and performing from the outright, he's had an entire career of doing that, and he's not been able to do that. Or is it that he's met maybe his match with Alex Albon?
I think he will come. I think, maybe he wasn't in Australia when he went off. It wasn't good. But let's give him a few more races before we judge him. Because we judge everybody else, but let's give him a few more races,
He's on the watch.
He's on our watch list,
He's on Wanker Watch. He's on Wanker
He's
Watch.
on Wanker
Officially
Watch.
Wanker.
Yeah.
Wanker Watch,
We
I
are
like
keeping
that.
an eye
That's
on
good.
him, yeah.
Who's on Wanker Watch? Carlos Sainz.
All right, we've got some fan questions here, Guenther. So our first fan question comes from It's Me, Peyton Lee. What's your favorite restaurant chain in the United States and why?
I do not go to chains.
What?
Sorry. No?
I did see that you did some video where you were like trying fast food and you were rating it and you hated everything.
Yes.
Citizenship revoked.
It's too late now. You gave it to me. You cannot revoke it. If I'm not doing anything illegal.
Wait, so what? No McDonald's, no Subway.
No. Greta, she goes to Chick-fil-A. You know Chick-fil-A?
Yeah,
Yes,
of course.
yep.
Yeah, and the only one, when I go to California, at some stage I was talked in to go to In-N-Out Burger.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't understand the magic of that one. It's a bloody hamburger, But if you're in California, you need to go to In-N-Out Burger. All right, let's go to In-N-Out Burger.
Dude,
So-
you're about to be more hated than Drake in L.A. in a second if you keep going.
Yeah. What did he
Brian
say?
agrees. Brian agrees that it's overrated. All right, Guenther's a
What
man of
about
class. He
Applebee's?
has to
What
do
about Applebee's? What about
chains.
like a restaurant?
Never been.
Never been to Applebee's and you live in
No.
North Carolina?
Yeah. Never been at Bojangles. You know, I know the chain.
What about Raising Cane's? Nope. Clearly not.
I read about them. I don't know. Do they sponsor someone? Because I didn't know the brand, and then
They did something in F1 last year. They did like a thing at one of the, I think in Vegas maybe. What about
Wait a
Chili's
minute,
triple-
Guenther. You're Guenther.
Chipotle.
What about Chipotle?
Yeah, Chipotle. I mean, Greta goes to Chipotle. Chipotle, that's the only one I go maybe 3 times a year.
God damn it!
And that's huge. That's amazing.
That is
That's
something.
300% more than any other race.
You should have said that when you were at Haas when you were promoting them. I go there 3 times a year. That would have been a
maybe we
great
can get them for a
endorsement.
sponsor of Vankah Hours. Let's not burn the bridge yet. Okay, this
Exactly.
Is
Yeah, exactly. Don't not burn them because they're
This
good
is
people.
It
from
only took you
Christina-
20 whole minutes to remember them.
Yeah.
This is from Christina H17. What's the biggest lesson you've learned in your career so far?
The biggest lesson: learn from your mistakes. Always learn. Don't be ashamed of the mistakes. Learn from them.
Sage wisdom. All right, and our last question is from Aura Shm 23. Which team do you think will do better in 2026, Audi or Cadillac, and why?
Whoa. I would say Audi because they are in F1 already. They've got a team, Sauber. Actually, we just called them Wanker of the Week, but you know.
Yeah.
But you know, they've got all the facilities. They've got the wind tunnel. They got everything, and they are working on the engine since a few years now. Obviously, Cadillac is buying Ferrari engines, which will help them. But I think in general, Audi should be prepared better than Cadillac. But not like Cadillac. I don't know what they are doing. But in general, if you have been in Formula One, at least you know what to do.
Before we get to our Japanese GP predictions, we just want to talk a little bit about Eddie Jordan, who passed last week. Huge presence in Formula One, both from a driver, team owner standpoint and from a media standpoint. What can you talk us a little bit about Eddie Jordan, Guenther?
Yeah, I knew Eddie well enough, you know, but he was one of these guys which old style team owner. You know, he spoke his mind, started with nothing, got fucking rich doing it, you know, because he was very smart guy. And what I always, what you always have to remember, because he made not only drivers, he gave young drivers a possibility to get in. There is a long list of drivers which had their first drive at Jordan GP, but also team members. There is still a lot of people in F1 which started off with Jordan, and he gave people a chance. But Eddie being Eddie, he gave young people a chance, not because they were young, because they were cheap, you know. So, and he had no money. He was smart, right. You know. He had no money. He tried to find the bright ones, getting them cheap, and obviously a lot of them made a career out of it that are still in F1. Quite a few of these people. So, and I think on these things, he always just tried to do a lot with the little he had, and at some stage he said, I cannot make it work anymore, and I sell the team, and moved on in life.
Do you feel kinship with him? Because, you know, as we were looking at Eddie's career, in certain ways there's parallels with yours. I mean, you started Haas, putting pieces together, always underfunded, taking on the big guys. It feels there's a kinship there with Eddie. Do you feel that?
Yeah, he once said to me, I think it was last year or even 2 years. No, last year it was. He said, we should have been together in Formula One at the same time. We would have had fun, you know, because, I saw him last time in person. Not last year, I didn't see him anywhere. I don't remember that I've seen him last year. I don't know. But in Silverstone in 23, I saw him because he was at the concert, the Black Eyed Peas concert. I saw him there before the concert, you know. So we had a good chat there. We sat down and had a good chat with him.
He was just like you, except for the getting rich part in Formula One.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still a poor bastard, you know. So, yeah.
But at the end of the day, you both resorted to podcasting. So it's a long road to podcasting at the end of the day.
Yeah, and not many achieve it. You can say that one as well, Matt, to make, no, Brian, to make us feel better,
That's right.
Eddie and
That's right.
me, Yeah. So,
all right, let's, we're off next week because there's no race. We're going to be doing an Eddie Jordan specific episode on the red flags, but then the following week is Japan. Guenther, what are your predictions for the Japanese GP?
Piastri, Russell, Norris.
Whoa. We can switch,
Wow.
and we can switch all those around later if you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly. And just invent.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? It looks, I couldn't.
He's wearing an Oscar Piastri t-shirt.
Yeah.
Matt?
Piastri, Verstappen, Norris.
Wow.
Brian.
I see that I'm in enemy territory here. As the sole believer in Lando Norris, it has been revealed that that's the case. I'm going Lando, Piastri, because I give respect where respect is due, and don't put him in third when he shouldn't be there. And then I'm going Charles Leclerc, P3.
Whoa.
Boom. We'll see who's right. Who do you think's the rock star of this episode? Who's the Vankah? We come out every single Wednesday following a race week. Make sure that you've subscribed to this channel and stick around for the full theme song of Vankah Hours. Until next time, Vankahs.
Goodbye, Wankers.
Goodbye, Vankahs.